missing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
Listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We up in this thing, Sports Coma. Old Saint Tank. Shout out to you guys, man. We up in this thing. Of course, fam, listen, man, the Saints, they go in for 0-4. 0-2 in away games. They go down to the Buffalo Bills. There were some positives in this game as well. A lot of positives, a lot of negatives in this game. But it's they're approaching, and it's some of the stuff that we've seen that we kind of knew. If we look at it in the microcosm that the Saints, a lot of positive and negatives, a lot of stuff to talk about in this one. Saints go down 31-19. No surpriser here. Against the Buffalo Bills, and we got a lot to talk about. We, of course, for your family members, we're going to obviously, when the time comes, we'll go to Kellen Moore to hear what he has to say about it momentarily. But y'all feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Shout out to all of the fam. Appreciate you guys. Put one in the chat if you guys can hear us well. Big Q and Pops Q is in the building. Y'all feel free to hit that like button, man. Listen, man. 31-19, there was a part in this game I thought the Saints would drive, take advantage of it. Shout out to you, Mr. Rose. Thank you, sir. I thought that this will be a role in the game where the Saints would kind of take advantage, but we didn't, and it is what it is. What's up, AKZ? B-Rock, what's up, bro? Bishop, Linda, shout out to you. Pops, can you hear us? I think you have your mic mute there, Pops. Unmute them out, your mic, please. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. There you go, loud and clear.
All right. Mm-hmm.
All right. How you doing this afternoon, Pops?
I'm doing pretty good. I was thinking. I mean, they played a little better. I didn't expect them to beat the Buffalo Bills, but they did play very well. They ran the ball fairly well. The drop touchdown pass that didn't help. But I would put that on Rattler because he underthrew the football. The guy was trying to go down and get it. So he's a young quarterback learning. Like I said, I'm a little bit. They didn't make as many penalties as they don't. As a matter of fact, I don't think they had any holding penalties that I can remember during the game. I might have missed one. So they did clean that part up. But whether or not they got some other things done. They seem like the defense allowed to run, of course. So they didn't get off the field that often. So because one guy I think his name was James Jones or something, but he ran for over 100 yards on him. And he was doing power running football. Cook. This young kid was.
James Cook.
Yep, James Cook.
Yeah.
He did power. He was actually running with power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He kept the drives going for Buffalo. When there was a few times I thought the Saints had stopped him, but he twisted and turned and he was able to get more yardage and picked up some extra first downs for him. So they kept the Saints offense off the field a lot in the game.
Yeah, it was. What can I say, pops? It was a very interesting game, to be honest with you, and interesting because, at some point, I like the fight and gumption, is the old school word that the Saints was showing at
Right,
certain intervals of the game. They
right.
they really wanted to do this, but you're right, they did keep the turnovers down, but didn't seize the opportunities like we really wanted to. That the Buffalo Bills were one of the worst run defense team over the last 3 weeks of football, and basically, they did do a good job of kind of taking advantage of that. Saints put up in this one, man, 189 yards rushing on 34 attempts. They averaged 5.6. But on the other side of it, we just couldn't produce enough to win. So we did 189 rushing, which is very positive, but just 109 passing on 18 of 28 pass attempts for 109. And you can even see, Pops, during the intervals of the game, uh, before the Saints scored that last touchdown, I want to say they had Tyler Shuck warming up on the sideline.
Hmm.
So Kellen Moore was ready to pull the plug on Spencer. He had Shuck warming up. Then Spencer started getting it together. He did the touchdown, and that kind of cooled it off. So going into week number 5, we seen a month worth it, and it's not really on Spencer Rattler, but it's you're gonna start hearing that talk more and more about when is it time for them to try to do something else. And like I said, it's just really interesting to see how it all plays out. But 189 yards today was a good effort, but we have to take care. We got to take care of business, and we got to seize the day, man. We let the running back Cooks. He did a lot of running, a lot of missed tackles. Pops, it was
Oh,
the missed tackles by the Saints defense. When we could talk about the offense only putting up 19 points on the team period, but the defense, man, with these missed tackles and these play calls and the bad coverages and the dumbness of the defense overall, and it's just you seen Jonas get the interception. We seen that was positive. But it was just at spots like the blown coverage play where, there was no safety support there. And Curl out there, he has to take on the tight end, Dalton, and there's no way he can cover that guy. And it was one of the easiest touchdowns that you can get. So, I mean, in the end, it's just not enough. It's not enough. All right, anyway, fam, man, let's hit the stats before Pops. We're going to dance into these stats, man, and see if we can go on this one. Y'all put y'all words in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about this one as well. We'll go right to Kellen Moore when the time is. Check out these stats here. The Saints 22 first downs versus 20 by the Buffalo Bills. They defeated them there. They were 5 of 13 on third downs versus 3 of 10 by the Buffalo Bills. 0 for 2 on fourth down. Bills 0 for 1. They had more total plays, 65 to 57, 290, almost 300 yards total versus the Bills 356. 10 to 11 on the drives. Bills way. The Bills averaged over 6 yards per play. Saints 4.6. The passing attack 191 versus 109 advantage Bills that way. And of course you see the interception there. And of course each team had 3 sacks apiece on each quarterback. The running attack 189 by the Saints on 34 carries. Kendre Miller was really doing a really good job. Him scrambling around. Spencer Rattler was scrambling around. Alvin Kamara was scrambling around. They had it was a total effort that averaged 34 attempts for 189 and 5.6 yards per attempt. The Buffalo Bills 165 off of 32 for 5.2. So they put up a hefty bunch, but the Saints defense, the run defense, had a tall order with Cook and Josh Allen. Like we knew that in the scouting report. The Saints were in the red zone 4 times. They were 2 for 4 on those situations. The Bills were 2 for 3. The Saints did keep the penalties down. They only had 4 for 41. The Bills had 11 penalties for 55 yards and a turnover apiece, which was interceptions there. Time of possession was basically even 31-21 to 28-39. But in the end, we did not take advantage of some of the opportunities that was presented for us, and that's unfortunate. Spencer Rattler was 18 of 27 for 126 yards. He did have a touchdown, 89.4 on the rating for him today, which was a solid game But like I said, it's just one of those situations we got to get downfield. We have to be a little bit more better in pushing the ball up the field, and we lack the explosive plays upfield. We have to some kind of way generate, the explosive plays to get upfield to blow the game open. We need those. Those are the great equalizers. The rush defense, Alvin Kamara, 15 for 70, almost 5 yards an average. Kendre Miller, 11 carries for 65, 6 yards an average. Spencer Rattler scrambled 6 times for an impressive 49 yards. He averaged 8 yards, over 8 yards every time he decided to move around and scramble in that pocket there. So the Saints, 34 attempts, 189 yards. That was a very solid game, seeing Elvin and Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller really got loose in his game in combine with Elvin, and Spencer Rattler was really taking advantage of scrambling and moving around. Rashid Shaheed, 4 catches for 47 yards off of 5 targets. That's 12 yards a catch. Juwan Johnson had 3 for 28 off of 3. Brandon Cooks got more involved, 3 for 22 off of 4 targets. Chris Olave had 3 catches off of 6 targets for 20 yards, and he had that touchdown. Jack Stahl, 1 catch, 4 for Alvin Kamara on 2 yards off of 5 attempts, and it's just, we got to get him more involved. Spencer Rattler, we talked about the fumble of Spencer Rattler, but, in the recovery. But also Kool-Aid McKinstry was the guy on the other end. He led the team with tackles with 7. DeMario had 7 total. Granderson had 5 in a sack. Jonas Sanker had 5. Cam had 4 in a sack. So Quincy Riley came in the game. He had 4. Alante had 4, and so on and so forth. So the sacks, 3 apiece, one by Carl Granderson, Cam, and Brian Brissy, the defensive line guys, got loose. And the interception by Jonas Sanker, he was able to make the play and the pick there for the New Orleans Saints. And outside of that, it was simply what it was. Blake Grupe broke his 3-game streak of missing field goals. He was 2 for 2, with the longest being a 54-yarder for the team. So outside of that, not bad at all in terms of that. But the Saints overall, I know a lot of people, including myself, did not pick them to win this game. But the effort was a lot better than the efforts that we did see from some of these other games against a quality opponent. We just have we need more. We have to have the explosive plays, Pops. The explosive plays are simply not there, man. We need to have more of those type of things to kind of blow the game open. That's what we really missing. We missing that explosive plays to get upfield and kind of shock the defense, so to speak. We need to really generate some more points, hitting we averaging 17, 18, 19 points a game, and the defense is doing what it's doing, allowing all this other stuff. But man, we really need to get downfield more, and this defense has to become better tackling defense, man, to be honest with you. Pop's thoughts on the stats.
Oh, absolutely. There were lots. I was watching. They were missing tackles and open field tackles, where guys were just really running around out there, running, and then they would lunge at them, but they wouldn't grab them and bring them down.
All right, Pops, just a second, Pops. Here's Spencer on there.
Ultimately didn't make
y'all put one if y'all
to
can
win
hit
this game. It's a really good football team. That team's going to play late into this season. We put ourselves in position. Felt like we were competing. We were playing the right way, and we just came up short. And we didn't make enough plays when it mattered most. And they made some plays. They got some really good players that made some plays, and we missed our opportunities when we had them. And so, our guys, we got to just keep on going. We got to keep going. We got to keep battling. We missed 4 ops, and you're given 13 more of these, and we just got to keep getting better and put ourselves in good position.
What was your perspective on the roughing the kicker penalty?
I haven't got the perfect look at it yet to evaluate it properly. Obviously, we were being aggressive there, trying to make a play, and we were just short. We just missed it, and those are challenging situations.
You were talking with officials about it for a minute. Did you think it was potentially running into the kicker versus roughing? Was that the discussion?
No, I was just talking with them about just everything that was going on in that play. All good.
Winnings don't think it really matters, but you like you were closer today than you've been all season as far as just an all-around game that the team played.
I felt like we competed. We competed in all 3 phases for 4 quarters, and opportunities are going to present yourself. That's what this league's about. You're going to have opportunities, and you got to take advantage of them. And I think there certainly were ones that we took advantage of, just not enough. And so, we had our opportunities late in that game to put ourselves in positive situations, and we just weren't able to come up with it. And so, credit to those guys. They made the plays when they had to, and they took advantage of them.
How much did the idea behind why you wanted to run
Yeah, just felt like I had the look. Had kind of an ability to get out of it if it wasn't the right look. Felt good about it. We're close, and obviously that's a frustrating one for us to come up short on, just because it felt like the end of the half we were managing, I think, pretty well to finish off some points and then get the ball in the second half.
Did Chris Olave have another option there? If the pass had been there, did he have another?
Yeah, there's another route coming from the other side.
How much of the emphasis on the run was like what you guys just wanted to do fundamentally, like identity, or just like matchup specific?
Every week's going to be different. Every week's going to present different challenges. Certainly, we know the importance of being able to run the football in this league, in both phases and both sides of the football. And so, I felt like there were some steps there. There was some progress. I thought Kendra and Alvin, both those guys just ran really, really hard. Spence used his legs a couple times. Shaheed, he had a couple perimeter runs. And so I felt like there was a lot of positives with that, with the execution in the run game.
And Kellen, we talked a lot about penalties all games this season, but how plays were today? I think it was 4 you finished with.
Yeah, there's 4. So obviously we made progress. The bummer is, you get 3 in special teams, and they all kind of impact the game, in drastic spots. And so felt like the pre-snap was better, the post-snap was better. We had a couple critical ones in there that were unfortunate.
Josh Allen made some plays in the fourth quarter. Obviously, he's MVP. What can you say about the job that he does, and especially in those kind of critical situations? How special is he?
Yeah, Josh is the MVP of this league for a reason. He's a really special player. His composure is like no other in this league. His ability to execute in crunch time and in critical situations. He's done an excellent job for a number of years now, and so he was able to make plays. And you give him just that little bit of a rushing lane, and he's going to take it, and he's going to buy time, and he's going to make passes, and he's going to use his legs when he has to late in the game.
How do you view you've been close 3 times out of these 4 losses, but there's been opportunities kind of right there that you guys kind of missed out on. Do you feel good about having the opportunities being there, or do you want your guys to execute? How do you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we're in it. It's very frustrating, I think, for all of our guys to feel like you're that close, and you got to feel the taste of it. Feel the taste of executing in those critical situations to succeed and to find a way to win one of these. And so, while there are positives within this, the ultimate goal has yet to be achieved in the game, and so we're striving for that, and we need to get there.
What did you like in this game about going into this game about the under the center game plan? It seemed like a lot of under center reps for what we've seen so far.
Yeah, we felt like just going into this game plan, felt like it presented itself, good opportunity, combination of opponent and ourself, being able to use your cadence a little bit more on the road. I think there was some value to that.
You kind of touched on it, but how important was it just to see this type of response from your team given what happened last week?
Yeah, I certainly think you got to give our players credit for how they responded. Last week got away from us. Our guys, they had the opening drive. They went right down the field and scored. Had a lot of momentum. That's a tough place to play up here, and so our guys settled in. They competed for 4 quarters. They battled. Our group sticks together. I appreciate that. We're right there, and obviously we know there's steps that need to be made to get better and put ourselves in better position. We got to finish one of these, but we just got to keep growing. That's our only choice.
Was the plan to get Quincy into the game, or was that a reaction to how things went in the first game?
No, kind of similar to last week. Yeah, opportunities for him as well still.
How would you describe the mood in the locker room? Was it sort of like what you said, a little frustrated, but you kind of know you're close?
Everyone's competing in the highest level of football, and there's frustration when you come up short. And so for us to come up short 4 straight times, there's a lot of frustration associated with that. But I think the messaging by our players, by our staff, the consistency by everyone's approach gives me hope and optimism that we're going to keep getting better, and we're going to find a way to get into the positive side of these games. And so we're just going to keep on going. I love these guys, and we're just going to keep competing. We'll be back at home this week and, be ready to roll.
How are you dealing with? Sorry, how are you dealing with? You are 0-4. You're going through this for the first time as a head coach. Just where are you kind of at?
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. We go through this journey together. That's what coaches and organizations and players and everyone does the same. And so we're all in this thing together. We all have our frustrations. We all want this really, really bad. We're battling. We're putting a lot of time and effort into this thing, and we got to find a way to get on the right side of this thing.
What do you think of some of those plays Jonas made on the ball today?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Jonas is a player that we think very highly of. I thought he played in some really contested situations, battled, playing against some of the premier players. Their tight end group is as good as anyone in this league. Those guys are special players. And so for him to compete the way he did, there's a lot of excitement around him.
And then can you get into just how beneficial it was for y'all today to have
I thought his legs came alive. I thought he did some really good stuff with that. By design and also in the scramble phase. And I think that's a critical aspect of this thing. Is that's a really good defense. They play just with incredible effort, and they give you a lot of different looks, and they're going to challenge you schematically. And so for him, when the opportunity presented itself to recognize the rushing lanes, I thought was really good. It put us in some really positive situations, and so something he can continue to utilize.
Do you have an update on the season?
I don't. Potentially, we'll see how this thing goes. I'll get a little bit of clarity, give you a better answer probably tomorrow once we go through the medical exams.
Was Bailey kind of a similar thing to Penning last week, like up but not like kind of an emergency?
He had some opportunities, obviously, as the week kind of went, and so just the way the the game played, we ended up playing in some tempo, and when you play in the tempo situations, when you're behind a little bit, the guys are going to tend to stay on the field, and we're not going to get as many personnel packages, so he'll be fine.
What about this matchup opened the door for Christian Boyd to get, it seemed like a pretty healthy amount of time?
Yeah, it was good to see him out there. Obviously, he had a phenomenal preseason. I thought he was really productive. Coming off the injury, had to navigate some of that, and so there was patience with that from his standpoint. I thought he went out there and battled, and I'm excited to see the film and see how it all went down.
How much of having your starting offensive line, at least in the first half of the game, like kind of unlocked that running game? The 5 you want to do this season?
That's a good question. Obviously, that was the 5 guys we anticipated. We know this league there's lots of twists and turns, and we've played a lot of different combinations up front. And we may have to in the future, and so we'll just continue to build that. I think those guys, the more they rep things together, I thought it was the most awesome thing was seeing Trevor out there playing guard. I thought his physicality as the game went on, he just became more and more comfortable out there, and I thought there was a lot of positives on his side.
How did you think just Spencer did overall? You mentioned the run game, his legs, but just passing and overall.
Yeah, I thought Spence battled. He's right there. I thought his legs came alive. Obviously, from a pass game perspective, we had a couple opportunities we're close on. We just didn't get it done. So.
Only one passing attempt for more than 20 yards, at least one first with all this.
Yeah.
What is it that's kind of limiting the downfield attack?
Yeah, we just got to find different opportunities for it. And so, obviously, we ran the football a lot on first and second down. There's a lot of positives there, and we just got to find a way to get downfield a little bit more. I thought a couple of the designer action shots, the deeper shots, Spence ended up using his legs. And so those were positives in there. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, Kellen Moore, man, a lot of stuff to talk about there. Spencer Rattler is going to take the mic in a second, fam. In just a second, to hear from Spencer Rattler, man. And like I said, it was a lot of positives, man, and for the Saints and some negatives, man. But they did have more fight based on some of the other games that we did see. They did have more fight in this game, man, and they were.
Yeah.
It just the opportunities at the time. We gotta do a better job. Here's Spencer, y'all. Here we go.
We had opportunities. Thought we played much better than last week. Obviously, it's a really good team, and credit to them. They took advantage of their opportunities, and we just fell a little short. We ran the ball really, really well. We're moving it up and down the field. Kind of stalled out in the red zone that last drive, second half, and there was a few moments in that game where we could have taken it over, and it just doesn't always go your way. So credit to them, they played well.
What was the response that you noticed from Kellen this week after a loss like that one? And was there anything he did that you feel like, I don't know if inspired is the right word for professionals, but like got the guys together to lock in?
Yeah, I mean, we just knew we had to get better. We knew we had a big test this week and couldn't play like we did last week. So, penalties were way down. Ran the ball really well, best that we have all year, and that was our game plan, and we moved the ball well. That's a good team that's going to be playing, late on in the year, in January, February. So a lot of bright spots, but still, moments to clean up, and, everybody. So.
Do you feel like you're close, and is that more encouraging or frustrating?
It's frustrating, because these teams, we're in these games, and, just got to close them out. It's frustrating. But, we know who we are. We know what we can be. And there's, 13 more games left to show that. So whatever happens going forward, we're just going to keep working, keep building, and keep progressing. That's it.
Could you take us through your perspective on the Philly special play and maybe what went wrong there?
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. I mean, you guys saw it. it was a tough play. You know, Chris isn't a quarterback, and I don't put the blame on him.
Is that the kind of play where, I'm not trying to drum up anything here, but I'm just curious, just for you from like a competitive standpoint, is that the kind of play where it's like you'd almost rather the ball in your hands as a quarterback in that moment?
Yeah, you know, I trust Kellen to call the right play. You know, had the right look, and the play looked great for the last 2 weeks. We've repped it, and, you know, I was ready to catch it in the end zone. But, you know, I trust what Kellen's calling, and the play was set up for success.
How much do you think your legs also opened up in the run game, and do you think that was a factor in getting that going?
That's something I'm, you know, happy about today. Is I came into the game wanting to use my legs more, and you know, that got them on their heels a little bit early in the game, and opened up some stuff for us. And you know, especially on third down, I think that's crucial. You know, you see extended drives that way, and sometimes you got to do that. And I was happy about that. You know, obviously wish there was more, you know, to build on, but thought we moved the ball well.
Does a loss completely ruin the birthday, or how's the birthday?
It's football, man. It's football. You know, you want a birthday dub, you want a dub every time, but this is the game we play, and you got to keep stacking, keep building brick by brick, no matter what the outcome is.
What's the challenge on that play to coach? Looked like you had to try to fit it into.
Yeah, no, I made the check to that route. It was wide shell, and there was no pressure. Nodded him, and you know, it was the look, and I ripped it early, and you know, wish it was a little higher. And you know, I thought he made a hell of a catch. I thought it was a catch, but you know, they reviewed it and it wasn't. So you know, that's tough. You want to hit that, but on to the next.
We've talked a lot about the explosive passing game not being there, but what do you think the key to getting Rashid's Chief going a little bit, even if those shots aren't there? Is there anything you're saying with that?
Yeah, I mean, just get the ball in his hands in space. I mean, jets, you know, quick routes, you know, stuff over the top. You know, they did a good job in third down today, and 3rd and 7+ of, you know, making us hot a few times, and had to get the ball out. But, you know, Sheed's a great player, obviously, and we want to give him the ball more, you know.
What did you see from Trevor Penning just making his first debut at left guard?
Yeah, it was great. You know, great to have him back out there. He's been excited to get back. He's been working his tail off to get back, and you know, you feel a sense of security when all 5 of those guys are out there. They did a great job today. You know, kept me clean for most of the game, and they battled. They battle every week. You know, I'll roll with those guys every single time.
Having those 5, do you think that's like one of the reasons your run game started clicking? Is like this is the group that you guys want to have?
Yeah. I mean, those guys were blocking their butts off and leaning on them. We were running the ball. I don't know how many yards we rushed for, but it was a lot. And you know, Kendra ran the ball well. AK ran the ball well. You know, the run game was definitely there today. So that's a good feeling. Thank you.
I would recommend going in that way.
All right, there it is. Spencer Rattler and both Kellen Moore, to basically letting us know, you know, that it's still a lot of work to be done here in the building. Man, oh man, and they're not kidding here. I tell you one thing, Pops, watching this game, man, it's just we knew there'd be a tall order to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
It's just, you know, 0-4, man. I'm kind of understanding that, you know, and of course the next matchup will be up against the Giants. So we'll see. But the Saints, the major injury to kind of take a look at is the fact that Cesar Ruiz, ultimately he went down with the issue. He got rolled up on. I think he got carted off with an ankle issue. Mm-hmm. And it's never a good thing when you see some of these guys get carted off. But yeah, Cesar Ruiz, who's just really been struggling in this season and in prior seasons. I was watching tape. It was a couple of times where a guy just ran right past him. He didn't even see the man. You know, I just don't understand, man. But the man is hurt, and we'll get an update tomorrow about Cesar Ruiz and how severe his injury is. But outside of that, Pops, what are your thoughts on Kellen Moore and what you heard from Spencer Rattler?
chopping wood. You got to keep on chopping wood. They keep making all these mistakes. They chopping wood. That's what they, that's what they doing.
Hold on, pops. Hold on. We know who said that before. So it is. This
Yes.
is that's his version of chopping wood. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I think so. Look, but the offensive was the one positive I noticed. They didn't have as many penalties on them as they did before. You know, the in the first three games they had bunches and bunches of penalties, and that really kind of threw the offense out of rhythm. Today they played a pretty decent game offensively. They just couldn't get in the end zone. You know, I mean, you have to make like I say that incompletion that he threw. I think it was Brandon Cooks. He could have if he had caught that, that would have been a touchdown. It would have might have even changed the complexity of the game because I think after that play, they either Buffalo came down and scored. But the major thing right now is our run defense. We can't seem to stop the run. I mean, this kid just ran up. He ran for over 100 yards and offensive. Like, I don't think they ever punted, but maybe once or twice in the whole game that they got him off the field. But Buffalo could have ran the game, running the ball on them all day because that they couldn't stop the run. I just can't understand it. No.
It's interesting too, pops, because the way I'm looking at it is that, man, where do you? I'm trying to figure out, as a guy that we study football, we watch it, we know the fundamentals of it, we know the team, the players, and you kind of looking around and seeing something that you can kind of see or something where they can galvanize to. It's just the few things here or there. The penalties, good, they were down. They did run the ball a lot better against a team that was the worst run defense in the NFL. They were 32nd, dead last. They did that. We did the secondary, one of the best in the business through the first 3 weeks, top 3 or 4, whatever it is. They held the Saints to 109 and some change. Saints were able to get on the board with touchdown there, but it's just a lot of hit and miss stuff, but just not to just go in, but specifically and break it down, but it's just, man, overall, like people say, man, we just got to play better. And it's just like the intelligence, the poor tackling. It's like 4 weeks. Why are they so poor tackling? Why is this such a bad tackling team? We didn't need, if we're going to run for 100 and whatever it was, the most that we done in a while, why can't we stop what they got going? I know Cooks is difficult, Hill is difficult, but that don't make any difference. If you tackle these guys when you get your damn hands on them, then this could kind of change the game. But the Saints missed so many tackles today.
Yeah, they did.
I just don't understand. Why are they so poor with the most basic fundamental things? This is not a young team. They got veteran people out there that are not running routes as crisp as they need to, or getting separation, not blocking, because it's the extra stuff like getting the blocks, putting the blocks when the blocks need to be made, guys doing what they're supposed to do. We're just not seeing it. We're not seeing it. We're not seeing the completeness of the game. Like, you don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. But the reality is, when the moment comes for you to make a play, you got to make it. And it don't matter if Buffalo Bills or Saints or whoever does it wins. The Saints have this real weird psychological dynamic that's going on with this team, where when the big moments of the game, where if it's a catch or a tackle or a block, they're not doing it. The offensive line, although they ran really well today, it's just, we're not dominating in a way where we need to dominate, right? And it's just a lot of different little things like that. But when it's time to make the damn play, whether it's a catch or a tackle or a block or whatever we got to do, we have difficulties doing that. So, and that's just as a team. Now, of course, people are going to micro look at it or just brand stroke it and say we need to change at the core. I hear people telling me that, like, the man is overall the Saints as a team are not, they're not executing in a way where it's bringing success successfully. We're not doing the things that we need to do when the moment arises. That's what I see of these 4 losses is like they're losing and they find in different ways. Like the third game was they just didn't show up to play. Special teams didn't show up to play. Then we had something positive going on, and then it's always some stupid shit like Group A. The Saints go down in there and they make the play. The next drive, when we got to kick the ball back to him, he kicks it down the damn field out of bounds and sets him up at the 40. And then Buffalo marches down the field from the 40 on the short field. The Saints defense don't even slow him down. It's a speed bump. They go down there and score off of that dumb play. Yes. And that was the best field position they had all damn game. It's always some simple shit like that. That's really elementary. You know better than to kick that damn ball out of bounds like that to set these people up on the short field. That kind of stuff. It's like we're going to make every mistake we can before we start learning to do some shit the right way. That kind of stuff. This old Rodney Dangerfield ass brand of Saints football. They stumble Chevy Chase ass bullshit, falling down the stairs and all this kind of. It's just, man, it's just real weird to have these veterans on the team, and then the Saints as a collective they're not smart. The moment comes, they don't make the play, and it's like, I don't know, they expect something wrong to happen. It's just weird, man, watching these people go out there. It's 4 weeks in. They're supposed to have most of this stuff figured out. It's 4 weeks in. It's a month worth of football already.
That's true. It sure is. Definitely.
So it's not the fact that I expect them to win the game. I picked them to lose the game. I picked them to lose the damn game. But at the same time, man, this is one of those situations where it's a measuring game for the Saints that really want to know, okay, listen, this is an elite team in the NFL. Let's go out there and give them what for. They did it in increment, but when the time stepped up for them to get over the line or make the play when they're supposed to, they fail. It's just more of the comedy bull crap. And then Kellen Moore comes out and says he loves these guys, but the love is not reciprocating. These guys, he said he loves them. They say he loves them, but they don't love him enough to play hard enough or smart enough to win games for him. So what kind of love is this? So anyway, it's just weird to me, man. But Pops, what do you think before we hit him with the scoring breakdown here before we get ready to shut the the recap stream?
Well, I mean, the missed tackling was obvious. It was obvious through the game. They would stop to have the guys cold, but they can't hold them. He's running right through tackles. Stop these people from running through the. If you got him in sight, meet him, if don't let him advance the ball. Meet him as best you can, and then hold him till you get help. We saw too many slip tackles, especially in the secondary. There's too many missed tackles back there. And then some of the plays along the line, the defensive line is very soft. And teams realize this, so they run the ball at the Saints all day. You have to stop that. You have to be able to plug up the run. You have to know when the ball carrier is coming and then move to stop him from going through. But they had the blocking wasn't there, and they moved the Saints back, moved the pile. The guy ran every time that guy touched the ball. He averaged 5 to 6 yards a pop. A couple of times, some of them ran for more yards than that. 1 or 2 times he ran for more yards than that on first down. It's boom! It's like right straight through the defensive line, and the secondary slow it coming up. I don't know. That's one of the worst phases of their game. They can't stop. That's what they learn how to tackle properly. They get off the field a lot quicker, so they can rest better and be capable of playing the kind of defense that will allow them to make the right plays in position. But they cannot stop the run. 3 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row, they couldn't stop. They just can't stop it.
117 yards off of 22 carries by James Cook. He averaged 5.3 yards and a touchdown on the Saints today. He got wherever. Now, they had a few stops there, but not enough to prevent him from doing it. Matter of fact, James Cook and Josh Allen were the offense running attack. The rush, you can say the offense period. The way they operated, even though you've seen Khalil Shakir and Dalton Kincaid catch touchdowns in the game, but James Cook and Josh Allen had rush touchdowns today. Josh Allen had 45 yards on his scrambles and averaged over almost 6.5 yards per scramble. But the scouting report, we did the recap, it spoke of it, and I put the great Saint think tank in the Who Dat Nation on game about these guys and told them, if you want to minimize or slow guys down, these are the guys that you would use, that you would have to be able to slow down. Cooks is one. You can't let Josh Allen and Cooks go on you. You can't let them get loose and do what they do, or you'll have a 165-point effort on you with 5.2 yard average with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. The Saints give it a mighty effort in Orchard Park, New York. They fall 31-19. Here's the scoring report, fam, just to kind of hit y'all with the scoring report and how it happened. The first touchdown from Khalil Shakir was a 43-yard pass from Josh Allen. 7 plays, 79 yards over 4 minutes to get the first score on the game. Buffalo 7-0. The Kendre Miller 18-yard rush for the Saints at 6:46 mark. 7 plays, 69 yards, 4-3 ties the game at 7-all. The touchdown next by Cook, which was a 1-yard rush off 7 plays, 66 yards, 4:17 on the time of possession, made the Bills go up 14-7. Second quarter, Blake Groupe hit a 54-yard field goal to make it 14-10 off of 7 play, 13 yards, 3:12 time of possession. Then it moved to third quarter. A touchdown by Josh Allen, which was a 5-yard run off 9 plays, 80 yards, 6:09 on time possession, put the Bills up 21-10. The Saints responded with a 3-yard pass from Spencer Rattler on a 2-point conversion that failed on the 11-play, 65-yard drive that ended with 6:28 in time of possession, put the Saints in striking distance 26-19. Then it looked like the Saints was trying to mount something special. The fourth quarter started. The Saints had a 9-play, 32-yard drive for almost 4 minutes. Blake Groupe did get in field goal position and hit his second of the game, 35-yarder. That made it 21-19. Saints was in striking distance. And then after that, they wasn't. Right after he hit that 35-yard field goal, he kicked that ball out of bounds and set them up on a short field in Buffalo. Had 4 plays, 60 yards, a $146 on a Dalton Kincaid 28-yard pass from Josh Allen to blow the game open 28-19. And from there, the Saints would not get any closer. Another field goal later on in the game, 9 plays, 42 yards, 3:27. Time of possession made it 31-19. And that is your final. So the Saints, like we said, we talked about the fact that the Saints did get within 2 points. They actually got within 2 points of catching the Bills in this game. And the reason why we kind of bring that up is that lets you know that if, they talk about, the Bills being dramatically a better team, but the reality was the Saints were within striking distance, and then stupid bonehead plays. Like the dumb kick that went out of bounds to set the Bills up at the 40-yard line. Okay, that's bad, right? Can the defense force them to take a field goal so the offense, which had a little momentum or whatever was going on, could kind of feed off of that and try to get closer? No, sir. The offense for the Buffalo Bills came out and they marched down the field 60 yards with a touchdown. Blew the game open. Just after that, demoralized the Saints, and that's pretty much how it ended. But that's what I'm saying. Stuff like that. That's when you make a stand. If the dumb kicker kicks it out of bounds and sets the guys up there, the defense got to say, okay, guys, let's go out here and kind of stop these guys. We have several plays or drives where we're able to stop them and force them to, move on. We need a strong drive right here. This is that moment of the game where we're within 2. We need to stop them, force them to punt, get a turnover. We can't allow them to get down here, and least of all, we can't allow them to score a touchdown. If we're gonna force them to take a field goal, that's one thing. What happens? They go down there and get a touchdown, blow the game open. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Making the play when we need you to make it for the winning of the game, so you can you stick your flag in that moment, and then you go from there. Like, okay, this is the moment, and recognizing it and seizing the opportunity.
Right.
That's how that game blew open.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Pops. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. It was obviously guys weren't prepared back there. But you're always supposed to spy the quarterback, because the quarterback is the head of the offense. You always got to remember, you got to know where he is at all times. If you got his people covered and you leave a gap in the secondary, he's gone. He's gone, and that's what happened. He's gone. He got loose from him, because that's the touchdown that beat him. He moved the football down the field easily. No pressure. And I don't understand why they don't do too much blitzing. I guess because the kid is so good, it probably would burn him to blitz him, because we don't have any coverage, outstanding corners out there in the secondary as free safeties. So we gotta keep on getting these guys lined up. Come on, guys, we gotta keep doing it. Say this, they didn't seem like they play with any intensity. They had some up tempo in the first half, and then all of a sudden they went back to the same old. They got to have you got to have if you're gonna play up tempo, you got to snap. Let's go. Catch them on, catch them, try to get them offside to do something like that. We just done nonchalantly going through the plays in that second half, and Buffalo kept stopping them. Except for one or two times, but Buffalo stopped them for the most part.
Yeah, and this wasn't a crisp Buffalo effort too. That's what a lot of the people was talking about. Even the national commentators were mentioning the fact that Buffalo was really kind of struggling to do stuff, but still managed to put 31 on the board. Well, that's because you got a team that I don't know what's up with the Saints, man. I don't know what's up. Even if there was a perceived talent gap, what is the response for the urgency? Not being able to be urgent in the urgent moments. It's a time when you're supposed to have a sense of urgency to be able to turn it on and say, hey man, we got to get this. The game is within reach. Like we just showed on the scoring drive there. The Saints got as close as 2 points in the game.
Yeah,
2 points in the game. They could have taken a game. The Bills wasn't playing they wasn't playing super crisp Bill ball. They was making a lot of mistakes and all this kind of stuff. The game was in their reach. It wasn't like the Saints came in and got manhandled and decimated like what happened in Seattle. It's just, where is the sense of urgency? The team is like, it needs what's the thing you put on the guys? The shock treatment you put on a guy's chest to wake him up, or the smelling salts you give a guy after he got knocked out. Whatever the case is, they don't know when to turn on the urgency. That's usually something the captain's supposed to give. I was like, hey man, wake the F up. We have to win. We got this game. It's too the urgency for this team. I don't get it. And plus the defense, my goodness, that defense, man. I don't know. You can't count on them when you really need them. And that's Cam, that's Damari. These guys cannot be counted on when you need them. We needed you to make a stand after Groupie kicked that ball out of there. We needed you to hold them to at least a field goal. We needed you to hold them there so we can get the ball back and do something with it. We needed at that period of time, we needed the defense to earn its money so we could flip the game over.
Right.
Couldn't even get that shit. So it's what it is possible. We got another matchup coming up next week, and it is a quick look at them. The New York Giants. The Saints come home 0-4. They lost 2 at home. They lost 2 away. They're a winless team. 0-2 in the dome. Coming up the first game of October. as we peace out September. The first month of games for the Saints has been a laugh fest, a disastrous, incompetent, dysfunctional football. They are 0-4. As they take on, they welcome in the Giants, who are 1-3 and 0-2 in a row. These are two different type of struggling ass teams. I don't know if the Saints will be giving up the underdog status for this game. I think Jackson Dart is supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be playing for them coming into this game. We know Scatterbo, the young running back from Arizona State's there. Shout out to Malik Neighbors, who got hurt today, and I think it's for the rest of the year. Malik Neighbors has, I believe it is a torn Achilles tendon, an ACL. I think he will be done. Is it an ACL or I think it's an ACL issue that they're reporting for Malik Neighbors. So he will not be.
Yeah, he won't be playing. He won't be playing in the Saints game, definitely.
Right.
And I think he's going to be out for considerable time.
Yeah, he might be done for the year, Pops.
Mm-hmm.
He might be very well done for the year.
Yeah.
So with the month of September games behind us, Pops, does October give the Saints any? I don't want to say the H word, but do they give them any prospects of getting the win, the first win of the season? Is the Giants the medicine the Saints need?
It could possibly be, but they're going to have to execute to perfection. They're going to have to stop the running backs, tackle these guys with the ball. You can't have all this shoddy tackling that they're doing. They have absolutely ridiculous tackling. They can't tackle. And as long as you're allowing teams to run like they're doing, and then you got Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, that you could possibly sack him. He's not a bad quarterback either.
I think Russell is. They bench Russell, Pops. He's the top dude there in terms of their statistics. But the Giants are going with Jackson Dart. He threw his first touchdown today against the Chargers.
Yeah, big, strong. Yeah, I remember that kid was playing for one of the Mississippi schools, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah.
Yeah.
Their quarterback last year, by matter of fact.
That's right.
Yep. So he's a big one. He's a big, strong kid. So he might be playing pitch and catch because the Saints have so many holes in their secondary, man. And they can't put pressure on the quarterback. And they got to rattle him some kind of way so the offense can come back and do their thing. That they got to rattle, get the young quarterback off his game. Because if you don't, it's going to be 0-5. We definitely don't want to lose to an 0-3 team, 0-4 team, and we 0-4 already. Perfect opportunity for them to get their first win. Will they get it? I'm not sure.
Well, Pops, the Giants are with Russell Simmons. God damn it, Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
Russell Simmons. If Russell Simmons running the team, y'all in trouble. His scary ass. But Jackson Dart running the team, Pops, and they look a little bit different, man. They had a little bit more juice. They barely beat the Chargers, but they beat a very good Charger team and gave the Chargers their first loss, and they beat them 21-18 today. Jackson Dart was 13-20 for 111 yards. Nothing spectacular. He did have a passing touchdown. He was sacked 5 times. His rating was 96% flat. Cam Scatterbo, the running back from Arizona State that they picked up, had 25 carries for 79 yards, but Jackson Dart also had 10 scrambles for 54 yards and a touchdown. So he hits you in 2 ways. He can throw the ball, and he's very good in terms of his ability to use his legs. Yes, he's very athletic. So Scatterbo and Dart together were a good combination. Singletary had 28 yards to throw, and they had 161 yards on the ground and a touchdown there. So the Saints defense scrambling and hurting, and they're facing another athletic quarterback and a team with some gumption. You want to look at it, and I look at it, and I want to say this could be possibly the first win against the Saints. But the Saints defense, man, I don't know. Kellen Moore might need to start bringing guys in. I said it last week. We're not where we're supposed to be. We need to start moving guys in and out of the lineup. Jackson. I know that Yidam did get moved out of the way for Quincy Riley. That's a positive. Finally, we needed that move. We know that Cesar Ruiz got rolled up on. He got carted out of there. We don't know how bad it is. So that'll bring some more help there. We know Xavier Truss is there. But whoever is on that line, we need them to play better. We really need
Yeah.
we need these guys to sync up and play better. Because if the Saints right now, after a month worth of games, it's hard to anchor something in particular they can do well. We still are lacking the explosive plays. We're still struggling with a lot of stuff we shouldn't be struggling with a month into the NFL season.
Right.
Giants coming in. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it, man, because Jackson Dart hurts the Saints in ways. That defense, man, have problems with containment. They don't get pressure enough. They had 3 sacks today, but it could, if you look at the film and you look at the game, it could have been a couple more than a few, and they leave stuff out there all the time. So we need to make sure, man. I don't know what Staley's gonna do, Pop, but we need to bring in some more people here, man. Or we have to be able to do something different up front here, man. That it's just we can't let people run on us like this, man. And it appears that this could be something similar going on. By all accounts, they should be able to beat the Giants in the Superdome. If the Saints can't beat the Giants, bro, we got major problems, man. A young quarterback and rookies and positions, the top weapon hurt on offensive. We can't beat the Giants, Pop. Yeah, you put this team in a goddamn coffin, man. If they can't beat the Giants, man.
This is our chance. And then it's going to be a home game as well. This is our chance to pick up our first win. But we got to execute defensively, especially. We got to stop the run. The biggest problem is the run game. They're not stopping teams from running. The passing game, they have its moments against the Saints secondary. But the running game, they why pass the ball and they can just run. You know, they get run on the Saints, and that's what happened to them today. I mean, they got run on. I mean, march down the field. One offensive play, they took 4 runs for first downs all the way down the field. They have to stop the run. That should be their number one priority. Stop the run game or slow it down where we can stay in the game. Because if we running and our guys getting wore out on the defense because they got to stay out on the field too long. And that's one of the other thing that's happening to them. Their defense is on the field too long.
Yeah, that's like I said, we have plenty of film here. It's a month worth of games that unpassed, and the Saints could just very well just like, okay, man, we're in a hole. We're in an 0-4 hole. The Giants. I'm not saying we need to underestimate people because the Saints are not playing well enough. They're not exhibiting intelligence and discipline in the way that we can say, oh, yeah, we got a Giants win. But in the end, man, when they have a young quarterback, albeit he's an athletic one that can throw and pass, and they're missing a top wide receiver, their top offensive weapon, coming into your building, that should very well, whether it's close or not, they should have enough pride about themselves to be able to execute and get their first win and start, and then to talk about dealing with winning games one step at a time and all this before you start getting into your NFC stuff, your NFC South stuff.
Right.
We because all these other people are doing things as well. Before we get into our NFC bag, if the Saints can pull it together, just spanning ahead, fam, over the next 3 games the Saints play are at home against the Giants, at home against the Patriots. They hit the road against the Bears, and the fourth, I'll give you a fourth one, and this is the October slate of games: at home with the Giants, at home with the Patriots the next game, away for the Bears, and at home with the Bucks. So if they want to get back to 500, it starts with the Giants and the Patriots, the Bears, and they need to keep climbing. But they have to fix these problems. And they can't stop the run effectively. They're missing all these stupid ass tackles. The offensive line, they have to find a way to crystallize the line. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to do it. And we got to find a way to get downfield. We have to find a way to solve the fact that we don't have the explosive plays to blow the game open. We need to get downfield. We need to execute properly to get downfield to blow the game open and make it a lot easier than this. The non-explosive plays is keeping everything bundled up, and until you hit the ops with these type of plays, it's just gonna keep everything tight. Everything's a battle and close. It don't matter who the opposition is. It's always tough to run the football, catch the ball, get upfield. It's all this stuff. They have to figure that out, man. It's 4 games into the season, and they have to come up with answers if they're going to try to add or stack wins one game at a time. They can't continue to struggle with the same stuff week to week, can they? I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. Sean says 0-4 in October. I don't see an 0-4, bro. I don't see them being 0-4. I expect them. I think they can at least get 2 wins out of the 4 in the month of October.
But this game is doable. I mean, today's game, no. I agree with you. I didn't think they had much of a chance, even though the game was closer than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But this game here is doable. The New York Giants have their problems. We should be able to take care of business in our building. Get their first. That's where they really need to get the feel of love is getting their first home victory before you're going on the road, and they got an opportunity to do this. Because Jackson Dart is a rookie quarterback. Now, Rattler is not.
Mm-mm.
So Rattler's been around a couple of years, but Jackson, that's his first start. So we got. I mean, second start, but he's a young rookie quarterback. We should be able to come up with some schemes to confuse him. Maybe get a pick off or something like that. We should be able to intimidate him. Show him what's going on. To be able to win this game. I would say they have their first opportunity with this game.
Yeah, I said that about Arizona. I thought Arizona would be a good one. San Fran with missing his starting quarterback, starting wide receiver, and starting tight ends was a win. Nope. The Seattle team missing most of the secondary people, and Sam Darnold at the helm. Nope. You knew the Bills was going to be the loss, but like I said, it's something about the Saints. They're not an intelligent, disciplined team that knows when the moment arrives, when the sense of urgency or an opportunity, a window of opportunity opens for the game to be in your possession. They don't recognize it. They don't play with that focus. They don't play with that intelligence or that sense of urgency to go and grab it and want it. The game was possessable.
Yeah,
the game was within 2 points. It was possessable.
Yeah,
and we did not want it more than they did, and that is a problem. That's mental. That's a part before we even get schematic. But that's the thing. Wanting the game and knowing that it's here and going to grab it and possess the game and wanting to win more than your adversaries and do what you need to do to take the win home. This team is something else, man. There's something else. Anyway, let's do this, Pops, and I'm gonna let you get the last word in here. Let's take a look at the scores right now.
Okay.
We'll close down for the rest of the show. The Colts right now trailing to the Rams at the end of the second quarter, 13-10. Rams leading it with the Colts charging, trying to get a play in before halftime. The Jags up on the Niners, 14-3 in the second quarter. The Ravens by 1 over the Kansas City Chiefs, 7-6. The Bears trailing the Raiders 7-3 with 7:35 left in the second quarter clock. Tonight you'll see the Cowboys and the Packers match up with each other there. The Cowboys looking for another win. And, of course, these are the finals. Vikings fall to the Steelers 24-21 there. You see that happening. So the Steelers are now 3-1. The Commanders, they fall to the Falcons. So the Falcons are 500 with the win. Michael Penix 20-26 for 313 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson has 75 yards rushing with a score. The Falcons are now 500. They're with the 34-27 win over the Washington Whataburgers. Of course, we know about the Bills beating down the Saints. We know that. The Lions got back to respectability by trouncing the Browns 34-10. The Panthers, who blanked the Falcons last week, got hammered by the same Patriot team we'll face 2 weeks from now. 42-13. The Patriots are now 2-2. The Chargers, we talked about it, losing to the Giants in a shocker. A lot of people thought the Chargers were going to get the win. The Giants got their first win of the season, beating them 28-18 to surprise the Chargers. The Eagles over the Bucks 31-25. The Bucks get their first loss of the year, and the Texans blowing out and blanking the Titans 26-0. The Titans are 0-4 and 0-2, just like the New Orleans Saints. So there you go on that, Pops. That's us, the scoreboard right there as our team. Man, that's the scoreboard. So anyway, go ahead, Pops. Last thoughts on the on the Saints headed into the week number 5, preparing for the Giants.
Winnable game. I mean, we got the Giants. They only got 1 win. We don't have any. This is perfect for us. We have an opportunity to at least get on the winning side of the scoreboard. I'm hoping that we can put pressure on him early enough, like Duke is saying, and put pressure on him early, get him off his game, and then we have a chance. But then, you know, it's up to us to execute, avoid mistakes, tackle well, and then we have a chance. That tackling well is very, very important because you could stop potential first downs. You could possibly cause fumbles. So it's something we have to really work on. Find out what it would take to motivate these guys to step up and and tackle these guys and try to hold them. I know you can't tackle them all the time, but at least slow them down. I see our guys make a one-arm grab. Come on, dude. You're not gonna slow anybody down with a one-arm grab. And I saw a lot of that today. But anyway, I'm hoping that we can pull this one out. And I'm looking like to the fact that we at home, we have an opportunity. The Saints, I don't know if they're favored or not, but they have opportunity to win this game coming up. If they execute, if they continue to execute, they have a chance to win it.
Yeah, it's a whole week worth of action. Remember, the Saints said they had a fantastic practice. That's what Kellen Moore did say. Put one in the chat if you guys heard that this past week, that he said they had a better practice. The whole thing is like, you know, when it gets to the moments of these games, Saints have to find a way to complete the game and close the game, take possession of the game to get the victory. Because some of them be out there. The Saints worked and fought their ways back into the game by 2, and then it allow it to be blown open. That's when you have to level up. When those opportunities or those moments present themselves, you have to level up to them and possess them. And the Saints had several. Even Kellen Moore did say that. He said it in the presser we played earlier in the stream, that they just didn't take advantage of the opportunities. They had missed opportunities, and that's the two words that he talk about, Pops, every damn week is missed opportunities. When are the Saints going to stop missing these opportunities? It's 4 games in now. It's time for you to recognize if you're missing opportunities, simply you don't know what opportunity look like if you're missing it.
Yeah.
They don't know how we missing opportunity. Well, the reality is why they missing opportunities, because they don't know what they look like. You don't miss something, you know what it looks like. You recognize, hey, that's a moment in the game right there. That's an opportunity for us to get the game. We got it close to 2. Then the dumbass kicker kicks it out of bounds. But the defense is supposed to level up. So at the end of the day, it's just one of these things, man, where, you know, they have to, I don't know what they have to do, man. It's a lot of stuff they have to do. But number one, they have to get smarter, a lot more smarter and disciplined. I know that. This ain't gonna cut it. And Sean, you're right. I didn't see 0-4, brother. You could be right. The Saints could be 0-8. We don't know. These guys are missing on a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be missing on. This is not a young team outside of us having a couple of guys on the secondary. Sinker stepped in after Blackman got hurt. We know we got Quincy Riley because Yidam ain't playing like shit. He playing like shit. So if Yidam playing bad, if he was playing worse something, Riley wouldn't be in there unless injuries hit. You know, Lante Taylor ain't playing as well as we would like him to play either, and Kool-Aid McKinstry is struggling. Well, he ain't Kool-Aid, he Crystal Light. Crystal Light McKinstry is struggling. He's struggling right now. So, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. Demario Davis and all these other guys, Cam Jordan, he got a sack today. But that's 2 games since the last time Cam had a sack or wasn't even a factor in a game. So like I said, man, another miss. Chase Young saying he coming back. He going to be close. Hopefully you get Chase Young back. We'll see what's up with Ruiz. We still need to get better on the offensive line. The interior of the defensive line needs to be shifted up because of the reality. The Saints are not they're not stopping the run either, fam. They're not getting to the quarterback enough, and they're not stopping the run enough. They're not stopping the run enough. They're not. So, we traded away Bank. I said we should have got rid of Nate Shepard. We should have got his ass out of here. He ain't doing nothing in there, man. So, I mean, in the end, and then Kellen Moore has to keep it real. He has to look at that film, and he has to be able to sit players down as we in week 5. If you're trying to win a game, Kellen Moore, you're going to have to remove some of these guys that's not helping, bro. Some of these guys don't know what they're doing. They're just a little late to the party. They're not studying and hustling and working hard enough. And it's time. It's time. It's time for them to get this together. It's 4 weeks in. This is not gonna cut it. You're right. Yeah, you're right, Sean. It could be 0-8, bro. Yeah, it's just too much going on for these people to be this rickety and this incompetent 4 weeks in. They're supposed to be doing some type of shit. But anyway, Pop's last words before we close it down, man.
All I can say is go Saints. I've got a feeling about this one, but I'm not going to bank on it. I've got a feeling that this might be the perfect opportunity for them to get their first win of the season. But it's only I'm not predicting that. I just got a feeling that it possibly could happen coming up in the Superdome next Sunday.
Yeah, it is. This is an opportunity, Pops, to defend field against a team that the Giants, even though they're 1-3 and the Saints 0-4 coming into the building. This is a medicine game for the Saints.
Yes.
They if they could put together several weeks of solid football play, they can climb out that 0-4 hole before they get into that NFC South schedule. But they have to handle the business, and this is where it starts, man. So once again tonight, man, listen, man, the Saints go down, and this is not a shocker. They go down to the Bills. It's just how these people keep losing, man, and the fact that it wasn't a blowout. The Saints were there. They were within 2 points of actually turning the game and taking it away from the Buffalo Bills. The Bills were not crisp in this matchup. They just did more. They wanted it more, and the Saints did not. Anyway, With that being said, we're done. And I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow, man, on the Monday stream, and we'll get the injury report and all of the latest on the Black and Gold. So thank y'all, and we'll holler at you tomorrow. Much love. Who Dat? Peace. We out.
Yeah. Huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.